Hello all, Todd here. How are you all doing? I come with you to a new video of something I've noticed. Recently, I was reading a lot of news on the world. It's quite a hot topic, literally, in Indonesia and other places because of all these protests and riots breaking out. And it's really fascinating to see. Indonesia is on fire right now. Britain is soon to be. And it's not good. It's not a good thing. It's a wonderful thing, though. Because you see, there is a revolution happening. A revolution of responsibility. With a lot of things happening in the world. Now, what do I mean by that? You see, I've learned something in my young time on this life. Governments want to control everything. I'm going to say that again. Governments want to control everything. I remember when Barack Obama was president, I remember seeing this infographic about a mother, or a single mother. And it was one of the most horrifying things I've ever seen. I mean, legitimately terrified me, and I still remember it to this day. It had the woman, every single panel involved the government and the use of their services for her life. And not one of them differentiated from that path. There was no exploration, there was no curiosity, no creativity, just orders, constraints, no room to improve, no room to be better. And I thought to myself, well, the government's not perfect, though. It can control everything, as we've learned many, many, many times before. And I thought to myself, I don't want the government to control my life. I really don't. And I've known a lot of people, a good number of them, who don't care if the government controls their lives. It's very sad. And now I think a revolution of responsibility is happening on both sides. For people in Indonesia, they're taking responsibility of their own governance, their own money, their wealth, their time, their family into their own hands. The only problem being that they're putting Molotov cocktails in them. Spark of revolution. Because of all the corruption. I remember, I believe it was South Korea earlier this year, where there was a coup that lasted less than a day. And it was very scary to watch. How easy, how malleable the idea of governance is, and how we trusted people. And it's getting to the point where people are tired of taking, orders. They know that the government will not help them, that their own lives are in their hands. And that's why a lot of welfare programs, I believe, have taken away from people. Now, welfare in and of itself is not a bad thing. People need help. People fall on hard times. That's life. I've fallen on some hard times recently. Trying to find a job has been a nightmare and a half. But that's the problem. It should be supplemental. We have people out here, whole generations of families on welfare. And I don't agree with that. Okay? My problems are not your problems. Okay? Can we get to that point right there? It makes me feel dirty thinking about taking other people's money and time and effort. And I think that's another reason why a lot of people aren't working anymore in this country. Because they say the unemployment rate's about 4%, 4 or so percent, but I believe that's a complete lie. Because when you need 2 or 3 jobs to survive, plus people dropping out of the workforce for numerous reasons. If I didn't have debts myself, I'd do the same. I'm a simple man. I don't need much. I got my dog. I got my books. I have my audience. Thank you. And it's just, we have to be more responsible for ourselves. No one's coming to save you, I hear a lot. I've always known that. No one is. And that's a bitter, harsh truth, but it's reality. I'm I'm getting real sick and tired of having expectations and them not having met, so I'm just gonna stop having them. People shouldn't have expectations, they should have standards. Okay? That's where reality is found on is standards. And I think we're going to have to get back to those standards some way or somehow. And if we don't, it's annihilation, plain and simple extinction. And with all these countries revolting or soon to, it's just, I don't know where it's going to go. It's true that nightmares can come out of dreams, but it's also true dreams can come out of nightmares. It's about perspective. You see, a lot of struggle has happened in this world, and usually good times follow, like after the Great Depression, which I hope we are not going through. It was that hardness. It was that ruggedness, that relentless resilience that gave them the means to go forward. That's why I chose to write self-help books and do this YouTube channel to help people, to at least give them some idea. And also, I don't know if you know this, but in America at least, healthcare is insanely high. I mean, I go get anything done, it's at least 3 figures. At least. To the point where there's been some drastic actions taken over the years. I'm not going to mention any names or incidents, but we all know. And taking one's health into one's own hands is paramount. And they say now that doctors have to soon learn how to do nutrition. Now, as somebody in the nutrition space, at least trying to get into it, I don't know what that entails. Friends, I want to be a dietitian, but I think that's just a little too late for most people. Not that people don't need it, and I don't want people to think less of themselves for needing a dietitian. For all they need help, they get it. That's fine. And anybody that can help them is a good thing. But we're dealing with more prevention over cure now. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, so said my grandmother. And it's just too expensive. It's just not sustainable. You need to cut costs. You need to balance your budget, so to speak. Balance your health first, is what I tell people. You know, nobody needs a soda every day. Nobody needs to go to the casino every day. It's just, we have to take back control. Because a lot of people are addicted to their misery. And misery is the most expensive health defect of them all. It leads to so many, it's the cornerstone of suffering. The foundation for their faults. And it radiates outward to everything. And again, easier said than done. People get comfortable. They get used to stuff. That's human nature. Everybody's like electricity. Everybody's like a lightning bolt. They'll take the path of least resistance every time. And I'm burned out to a point too. I'm not gonna lie. If I could keep going, find some reason, my dog, he keeps me going. I don't want him to starve. I don't really care about my situation there. I really don't. Life's not really giving me a reason to, but that's a story for another day. And yeah, I believe a revolution of responsibility is happening, where people are tired of being told what to do and getting poor outcomes and trusting the higher authorities. Whose authority is higher than yourself to oneself? I ask you. I don't believe that it will be easy, fun, nice, or pretty, But we have to cut through these illusions, these ideas of letting other people run our lives because they end up ruining them because they care about themselves. And everybody's tired of working for somebody else's dream. And what I see in the future is everybody going into micro businesses for no other reason but just to survive. Cottage industries, having certain spaces and places where we can do that and be free within an extent. Because true freedom doesn't exist. Okay? It doesn't. I mean, 100%. We are very free in the United States, but there's still things we have to do. There's still responsibilities, which I think a lot of people forget. They have responsibilities with their freedom. So it's not real freedom, not absolute. There's no such thing as absolute freedom. It's an illusion, it's an idea that is sold by people trying to sell you something. And we're learning that more and more. It's up to us and no one else. I hope to have more discussions and make more content on the subject. And I hope to hear some comments from any of you. Thank you. Have a nice day.